welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another new in the queue product feature. My name is David Strausser. I'm sales here at Quaint Business Solutions. And for those of you who may or may not know us, Quaint is an SAP Business One provider who values excellency in customer service as well as knowledge of SAP Business One and the whole application. Part of what we do at Quaint is to ensure that we're always bringing the latest and greatest innovations in the SAP Business One space to our existing customers and potential new customers, which is what brings us to our presentation today. Today, we have Quaint's own Wilmer Marquez showing you around some of the new web client customizations that you can do in your SAP Business One web client yourself or maybe through us. So welcome, Wilmer. Just a reminder, we will have a question and answer session. Should any questions arise during the presentation, please throw those Q&As right there in the chat. You should see a Q&A button. We will get to them at the end of the show. Wilmer is not AI. He's not a robot. He's a real human being, and we will get to every question out there. So ask away as you see something that interests you, and we will get to it as we can. Thank you again. And Wilmer, I'm throwing it over to you. So if you're ready, go ahead, my man.
Thank you, David. Thank you for that great introduction. And thank you, everyone, for joining this session today. As David said, we're going to go over the user-defined family group, going through different scenarios, to better understand processes. We're going to first go through user-defined fields and tables, then go over an example I created for you for UDOs. And we're going to jump into customization field values with filter list, mathematical formula, and logical formula. And then at the end, we're going to go to our central management view to see what we created and how can we reassign this if we need to. Okay, before we dive into our demo, let's go to some terminology. First, we have our data storage with UDF and UDT. So UDFs let us tweak what's already in the system. And UDTs pretty much let us build something brand new, something from scratch. Now, when it comes to UDOs, they are the bridge between raw data and the user's interface. So they pretty much provide that native experience within the web client and the custom processes we have in place. Finally, with the UDVs, we make automations. So our teams can spend less time typing and more time analyzing, right? That's essentially what we have for them. Now, let's go to our web client and let's start creating our UDT and UDF for this first example. So for this scenario, what we want to do is create an option for our dispatchers. So whenever they're creating a delivery document, they can assign a driver to it. So let's go ahead and change this screen. Give me 1 second, please. And there it goes. All right. So first things first, let's go to our UDT. So I have this purposely on the first 3 tabs. I'm going to go to my admin tab, go to my UDT tile, and I'm going to go to create. Right, in this case, we're going to name this one driver. Let's put drivers. Oops, actually, let me name this delivery. Not like this one better. Okay, and for this example, we're going to change the table type to no object with auto increment. All right, click create. Next step is creating the UDF. So we click create, got a title. This one's going to be name, and the description is going to be driver name. We want to have this alphanumeric. and the structure is going to be regular. The length is going to be 20. We're going to create another one that's going to be shift. Oops. All right. There it goes. And for the description, shift word. We're keeping the same structure, the same type, and the same length. There it goes. Click create. Now we're going to click on next step. We review what we created, and we're going to click finish. You can go down here and see what you created. That's your delivery UDT. And let me just refresh. Sometimes there is a little hiccup on this demo environment. And there is a way to access the UDT you created by going to our side menu, the listed menu here, and you can see it here, or you can also add it to your cockpit right here. Now, let's go ahead and create the information we're going to input here. These are our drivers. And we're going to put Mr. James like to work on the morning shift. Let's put Ms. Maria here. She like the evening. And we can go ahead and create one more. Will Smith. So we have Will for the evening. Actually, let's do a last one here. We have Leo Messi. How about that? And Mr. Leo likes in the morning. Perfect. So we have added our information in there. We have our drivers listed. Now let's go to a UDF. And what we're going to do is connect what we just created with the marketing document. Okay. So we know it's a marketing document and we want this assigned to the tile. Okay. To the tile section, we're going to go ahead and click create. This one's going to be delivery. In this case, we're going to click link to entity, and we're going to go to our options by selecting the user defined tables. And we're going to go to the very last, to the very bottom, which is what we created. There it goes. It's right here. Click OK, click create. Now it has been linked. If you click a drop down, you're going to be able to see it. Okay. Now let's go to our delivery document. So we can go ahead and create our delivery. Oh, sorry, create delivery, I meant to say. Perfect. We select the company we're working with, go to content, select the item, and update the quantity. We can do 12 for this one. So when our dispatchers click on the user-defined field, they're going to be able to select a driver. This case was James, who did the delivery. That's it. All right. So when it comes to UDOs, this will help you create tables to document things like quality inspections. These quality inspection tables are not part of the SAP out of the box, yet you can create this by using the out of the box version. So to save us some time, I have created a UDT and UDF for this, which we just did with the delivery table. But in this case, to explain UDOs. So in this table, we're going to be able to include information once you've done a quality inspection. And this form I created has, for example, in this inspection result, you're going to have a UDF filter list, which we're going to go over in a few minutes. You also have a couple fields that are remarks and inspection notes. These are empty UDF available for text. Then you have the item code, which is linked to our item master data. And you have one more in the technician side where it's linked to our employee master data. So let's create one of these inspections together. In this case, let's say it passed, and this is for remarks. Let's put quality inspection completed, printer refurbished, and ready for repacking. How about that? We received this printer for warranty, so we refurbished it and it's ready to be repacked and go back to the market as refurbished. Let's see here, see if it's loading. Of course, this happens when we go live. There it goes. And we can go ahead and select the printer we want. We're going to go ahead and select Mr. Michael. This is the technician that worked on it, and he can put he worked 2 hours on this printer. We can add another one. Let's say we have Julie. Miss Julie that did the 40 cycle testing. All right, and we can create and view. So this has been created. If we go back to our inspection tile, we're going to be able to see the one we just did. Okay. Let's go back here and let's go back to our presentation for a minute. All right, let's jump into our customization with field values. As I mentioned, we're going to go over a few different scenarios with filtered lists, mathematical and logical formulas as well. We saw how it worked when we do filtered lists. Now let's create one. So we have a scenario where we had some recommendation from sales that some colors in the printers aren't selling as much. They're not too hot. So what they want to do is filter the color options in the sales orders. All right, let's go back to our web client. And let's go to our sales order. We're going to work on sales order 1179. And what we do here is click edit. 1 second. All right. We're going to click on content and let me take you here. Once you're here, you can click edit user defined values and you're going to see some pens popping up right next to the UDF that can be modified. In this case, we want to change the color option. And we're going to go ahead. This was here none. And let's go ahead and click on filter list. Okay, let's do it from scratch. In this case, I'm going to uncheck this option, allow to view all values, because we want to focus on the ones they told me, the red, the green, and the yellow printers are not selling as much. So we click OK, and we're going to click on Finish Edit. When the salesperson is creating an order and selecting the color option, they only be able to see these options. Okay. Now, let's say you want to change this, still leave the 3 options as the main options, and then have another option here so they can select other colors if they need to. We can simply go back here and click this checkbox, allow to be all values. That's going to give them the option to display all values among the list or go back to it. That's another simple way to do it. And that's how you customize field values with a filtered list. Let's go back here and we're gonna jump into our mathematical formula. All right, so in this scenario, what we're trying to do is highlight those customers that have an account balance. I'm sorry, no, that's for the logical. In this case, we're gonna showcase how to update the field value the field value date, I'm sorry. So when you select the posting date, your delivery date is always in 7 days. That's pretty useful when you have teams that take care of lead time, for example. So we're gonna go in and modify a sales order as well. Okay, let's go back here. We're gonna jump into our home page. There it goes. Sales order 1178. And the steps to get to the editing part are pretty similar. No matter what we do, we click on edit. Once we're inside of the document, we go click on the edit user defined field. And in this case, we're gonna go to our delivery date. Click our pen here, and we're gonna jump into formula. All right, so you don't need to be an expert in programming. The system has a pretty good build up behind the scenes that's gonna help you move through it. And you're gonna have options that auto-populate as soon as you start typing. So if you have these formulas already figured out, just have them in your notes, and it's pretty easy to go in and modify them. So for the trigger, we're gonna go ahead and type in posting date. Just as you start typing and the options pop up. Oh, sorry, I think I clicked this by mistake when I clicked the first time. We click OK. We're gonna leave the automatic refresh, and in this case, this formula name was auto-populated. We can leave this one. We like this one. We're not gonna click this box formula includes database field just because we don't want data coming in on this particular example. Now let's start writing the formula. Again, we start typing, posting date. This is the one we want, +7. And we can test the formula. Beautiful. We got a test result that confirms the formula is okay. We can click OK, and let's test it in this document. So let's change this posting date. It's gonna be, let's put it for the 20th of August. And you can see the delivery date auto populates, or it updates with 7 days of difference. That's how you customize with mathematical values. Now let's jump into the logical value. Let me go over here so you can see. And it's pretty much the same. We're gonna go edit user-defined values, change from none to formula, and we're gonna input the information. We can test it and then click OK. All right, let's go back in here. And in this case, as I told you before, we wanted to highlight the customers that account balances are higher than $100,000. Okay, I've seen examples going over, let's say, commissions, or let's say inventory, so they can create this focusing on those particular scenarios as well. All right, so we go back here, click on edit, and we're gonna click on edit user-defined values. We now click on the user-defined field tabs, excuse me, and you see gold customer. This is how I named it, because that means they're a gold customer for us. We click on the pen to customize, and we click on formula. We're gonna leave the automatic refresh enabled, and then for this one, right, we're gonna go ahead and type customer code. This is the one we want. Click OK. We're gonna check this box because we want the data to come in. All right, leave the name as it is. Now let's indicate what we want to look up on here. The lookup object is gonna be our business partners. In the lookup field, we want the card code. Okay. Compare with, we're gonna leave the UI field, and then the values is gonna be customer code. All right, and the reasoning behind this is that we want the system to look up the business partners in the card code and compare it with the customer code on the document that you're on. Okay, let's write this formula real quick. And again, The minute you start typing, you have options populating. We want to make sure we select the object, which is our business partner. And then remember I told you we want to highlight the accounts that have a higher current balance. In this case, we want it to be greater than 100,000. Okay, let's test it. Perfect. So it is true. We can go ahead and test it in our demo. We click update. Let's go create a sales order right here. And I'm going to show you a couple examples. One, let's select a customer that we know the balance is higher. You select it, and if you go all the way to the last tab, the user defined field, you have this already checked. Okay, now let's go back to general and let's change the BP. Let's change the customer. Let's select one that has less than 100,000 is unchecked. So that's how you create that formula on the field values. Okay, cancel this. Perfect. All right, finally, let's go over our central management view. Okay, so today we work on different UDVs. We created UDT, UDF. Now, we're gonna go here and take a look at where they are located and what can we do with them, because when it comes to SAP web client, this is a unique functionality. So on the desktop version, you cannot copy UDVs between marketing documents, nor can import them or export data between databases. So what most companies do is they have their main database and a testing database to do this. So with web client, this step is a lot easier. Let me show you. Let's go back here. And let me actually update this. There it goes. We go to our tile, user-defined value tile, and we can go to field. Once here, we can see what we've done today. Delivery date, our color, and the gold customer. We click go, we're gonna be able to identify where they are. So if you see, we have the color scheme, the product item color filter list in the table section of the sales order in the business object, and the other two, delivery date and the gold customer formula on the body area. Now, let's say I wanna share the delivery date with another marketing document. I can just click on it, click and copy, and select the document I want it on. Let's say I want this on my returns and return request. I can do that. All right, it has been copied. Now, let's say I want to import or export these two. I can click on them and export it. There it goes. I can then log in into my other company and import all this information. And that concludes the training for today, or the session for today. I don't know if we have some time for some questions. I believe we do.
Yes, we do. So let me pull up some questions here. Pull up some Q&A. Apologize, my Q&A is loading up very slow right now. Okay, so I guess the first question we have is like all these UDF stuff like that. How does that work as far as like if they upgrade and stuff like that? Will they stay in place or do they have to be changed? Would you know that?
How do you mean? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Like if they move to another feature pack or when version 11 comes out, does that stuff kind of migrate over or does it need to be redone?
I haven't tested that. Unfortunately, I haven't had that situation, but I'm almost certain that you're not gonna have to put it again or to build them again. I can come back to you on that because I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. And then the only other question that I have here for you right now is just this is a more general, simpler question for you. Just overall, I mean, you just showed it right here, but overall, how easy, hard do you view it? Because you learned the web client customizations and stuff like that for the demo. So how easy or hard was it to learn all that stuff and then actually do what you showed us out there today?
It's quite easy. Again, the most difficult part probably is getting the formulas straight, but for the most part, it's like programming. So there's a lot of information already there. You can find the formula that fits the situation you're working with. Um, so that's probably the hardest part, but it's not hard at all. The system is pretty well built up, and it's pretty easy to handle.
So I have a question for someone who's really new to the web client, and this example that you did, Wilmer, was very, very good about how you can actually build a small Q&A, a section that links to SAP Business One. So for someone who's really new, the web client is just the web interface, but the data is still being written to Business One.
That's correct. Yeah, everything you do on the web client is syncing live with your desktop version.
And then all the user-defined fields and tables and linking to human resources that you did, that is also creating the same UDFs in the SAP database.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
You may have a message on your desktop version asking if you want to go ahead and update, because the database structure has been modified. So you just need to click yes on it. But that's coming. Let me show you real quick. I think it's popping up on mine. So
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes.
so it's coming up here, and you just need to click yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can continue adding the user-defined fields. All right. This is for the other ones I created and so on. That's going to pop up. Just to confirm,
And licensing, is this an extra cost?
none at all. This is just the out-of-the-box version.
Okay. Do you need to install anything to make this work?
Nope. No, this is part of the functionalities that come with the web client. So as long as you sign up or sign in your company, you'll be able to do affect all these changes.
Yes, but there is an installation piece, I believe, that if the client did not do the installation piece for the web client, then they will not be able to do this.
Um,
Yeah, last time when I worked with
Well, yeah,
Renee,
essentially, Marley, I believe they just need to deploy the web client portion of it and get it essentially, I guess, on a web server. I think that's
okay,
correct.
yeah.
Is that right, Wilmer?
You mean from the IT standpoint?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they need to get involved to enable the web client. That's true. Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you, Wilmer.
absolutely. Thank you.
No, thank you, Marley. Great questions. Great questions. Last call for Q&A if anybody has anything. Okay, well, we're pretty much at time. So great. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody that came here, joined the show today. We appreciate you all here at Quaint for being here. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn, please, to check our email announcements for our next product feature for Business One, or maybe it's a partner feature or something that really works for Business One that your business needs. Okay. A lot of great stuff coming out and going on at Quaint. Please don't forget to check out our website, www.quaintbusiness.com, to find out other great resources and information like the in case you missed it for this webinar. Thank you again, Wilmer. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today, and everybody else that helped put on the show. And we'll see you again next month. Cheers.